What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the One Outdoors Network here. And today we're gonna bring you a little tip video, something that'll help you make yourself become better. Maybe step back and look at things a little bit differently as an outdoorsman or woman, in the aspects of hunting and fishing. So if you're like me and you're beginning to kind of venture out and travel to different states and locations and towns for hunting and fishing and stuff, you have to kind of sort of use this formula in some way, shape, or form and plug and play with it. That way you can figure it out to be successful. So the first point I'm bringing to you guys is research. That's the first thing you want to dive into when you're going to a new area. Okay, so I've never fished Lake A before, so I'm going to look at Lake A on fishing apps. I'm going to look at a topographical map of Lake A. I'm going to look and check like logs and harvest reports of any kind that I can get my hands on and kind of figure out, okay, what species of fish do they have in Lake A? Factor in what time of year it is. And sometimes that brings like new techniques and different things you'll have to do to try to adapt to Lake A. In a hunting perspective, it's more so like checking harvest reports, looking at maps as well, but if applicable, setting trail cams and just going out and doing some scouting, and applying practice, which is the next point. And how you pretty much practice is like whatever it is. Say you're hunting, practice your shooting, putting pressure on yourself to make different styles and more difficult shots, but still achieve that great shot placement and good groups at certain yardage or and windage or what have you. Attempting new things to try to become better. As well as scenarios in your mind. Okay, what am I going to do if I'm in the stand and this buck comes out and he's feeding at 65 yards and I got my bow over here, I'm ready to go, and he's just locked onto a doe and he just won't come in. Well, am I going to try to grunt him off or snorting wheeze? Just different scenarios to kind of get your gears turning in your mind to make you aware, because you never know. Anything can happen when you're in the woods or on the water. So you got to kind of try to be prepared the best you can for all aspects and all walks. And honestly, when it relates to fishing, just go fish. Try new things. Because, for instance, me being from Florida, primarily fishing was simply focused on like soft plastics, flipping, like Texas rig, wacky rig. Swim baits are really big. There's not like a ton of cranking, jerk baits, things of that nature. So honestly, before my first trip actually fishing outside of Florida was on Lake Guntersville in Alabama, and I was using a jerk bait. Very first time using it. But while I was there, I learned like, hey, these fish are not biting what I'm throwing, so I gotta kind of change my tackle. I gotta mix it up and see what's going on. You have to teach yourself new tricks and new ways to fish and hunt, and to simply just to get the job done. That makes you a better hunter, a better fisherman. So I feel like these tips are key to help you not only adapt, but become better overall. And finally, the last point is perseverance. Perseverance is something that honestly cannot be taught. You have to go through it to learn it. Like one of my favorite sayings I've always heard, and I say numerous times, life's a cruel teacher. It gives the exam first and the lesson later. And it's the same a lot of times when you're in the woods or you're on the water, and you lose that big fish, or you're out there all day and there's slim to no bites, and in your own mind you're thinking, oh, I suck, or this or that. Like, it may not have anything to do with you. They just may not like what you're throwing, or you might not be in the right areas. All of that coincides with what I was stating before. You got to do your research. You got to practice. You got to adapt and overcome. You got to throw new baits, different style baits. Teach yourself how to use them. And you got to simply study those animals in that area. Learn their behavior. Learn where they like to eat, where they go to bed down and sleep. You just got to pattern not only the land animals, but the same thing with the animals in the water and the aquatic when you're fishing. So that's key and pretty much unteachable. You got to just go out there and just go do it. Find new approaches, new ways to get the job done and be successful. That's what it's all about, and that's honestly one of the main reasons I've always been so intrigued by being in the outdoors, fishing or hunting or shooting or what have you, because it's nothing easy. You got to go work for it. You got to earn your keep. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, be sure to give us a like and a subscribe. And also, if you'd like some merchandise, go ahead and scroll down there in the description. I'll leave the link to the shop below. We got some hats and koozies and shirts and hoodies and all kind of cool gear for you guys. But once again, we appreciate you watching.